Well, hey everybody, John Ritlin here, and this is every WWE champion ranked from worst to best. 51 in total, not 82 like the Intercontinental Championship lists that I did, the two-part list. Check up here for the links, or I'll put them at the end of the video. But with this one, I want to tackle the most prestigious title in WWE history. I'm not including the World title or the Universal title. I'm just simply not. That would take way too long. Yes, some of the champions have not been that bad, but maybe the World title, I'll do that at some point. But I'm going to have other ranking videos up. I am going to rant a little bit during this, but as far as rants like which was worse, I'm going to put those on the back burner for now. Unpopular wrestling opinion episodes may pop up here and there. But for now, enjoy these ranking videos as you see them, intermittently pop up between the weekly reviews, WWE, New Japan, and WWE pay-per-views. So let's crack on. This will probably end up being a two-part series, which we start with number 51, Rey Mysterio. He held it for an hour and a half. And John Cena beat him after Rey Mysterio had won the title in the first match because John Cena is a babyface. Never forget, Cena will make an appearance later in this countdown. Rey was champion for 90 minutes. I mean, I'm sorry. That's why I'm putting him here. I just am. I feel bad because I like Rey, but yeah, he's got to be the worst champion of all time because he didn't hold it for very long. Whether that was his fault or not, I'm not saying it was. Yeah, it was pretty shit. We then get to number 50, Andre the Giant. The only reason Andre isn't the worst is because this was a big angle, a big deal with the both Hebner brothers, Dave and Earl Elite, unless they change their names and that's not. But that was a pretty cool angle, and Andre the Giant, $1 Million Man, everybody paid off the refs to count Hogan down. It was the rematch after WrestleMania 3 on the big event or the main event. Saturday night's main event did I think the biggest ratings of any Saturday night main event ever. Yeah, Andre then gave the title to Ted DiBiase. It was then held up and put in a tournament at Mania 4, which went on a little bit long, but still, Randy Savage became champion. Randy Savage will make an appearance later in this countdown as well. I feel bad for putting Andre this low because it was a big deal, but he didn't need the championship. It was just an angle, and that's why he's here. We then get to number 49, Kane. He held it for one day. He won it at King of the Ring 98 in the first blood match, lost it the next night. You think they hotshot the title a little too much during the Attitude Era? No. Yeah, they did. But yeah, I mean, Kane, he was WWE champion, big deal. He was world champion later, which meant a whole lot more to his career. Then we get to number 48, Vince McMahon was WWE champion in 99. He held it for 6 days and then gave it up, or a few days. Technically, since they taped SmackDown on Tuesdays, actually, that he did hold it for 6 days, but it only ended up being actually 3 or 4. Because when SmackDown was held, or, actually shown on broadcast TV, yep, it was overbooked and a mess and everything, and he beat Triple H, and Triple H got goaded, or Triple H goaded Vince into that. Vince got busted open. He was champion, then gave it up, and it became part of a six-pack challenge, which Triple H won. Okay, that was needless hot potatoes. Better than Russo being WCW champion. Don't worry, when I talk about every WCW world champion from worst to best, I wonder where Russo's going to rank. So, but that aside, number 46, or 47 rather, Stan Stasiak. 9 days. Stan the Man Stasiak. It was just a way to, switch the title. That's really the only reason. That's really the only reason they fucking did it. He didn't hold long. So it was cool. Stasiak was WWE champion. And then we get to number 46, Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal held the championship for 170 days. He held it longer than Ric Flair did. He held it longer than Eddie did. He held it longer than a lot of people did. I know that there are people that watch this that like Jinder as champion. That's totally fine. I 100%, believe that everybody should be able to have whatever opinion they want, whether I agree with it or not, because just because I say that I didn't like him as champion doesn't mean other people didn't enjoy it. Just because I say Brett is, the best wrestler of all time, because I feel he is, doesn't mean everybody has to agree. Just because there are Dana Brooke fans out there doesn't mean anything I say holds any more water than what they say. The whole point is, differing opinions are fine. In my opinion, Jinder Mahal's WWE title reign made SmackDown an atrocious abortion to watch. Did he try? Sure he tried. The matches were rotten. He didn't feud with anybody good. His feud with Orton was shit. His feud with Nakamura was shit. When he finally won the title, it took AJ until WrestleMania 34 to get the stink off of it. And through no fault of Jinder, he tried what he could, including trying to pin Nakamura during a segment. Not a match, but a segment. he got thrust into a position that he wasn't ready for, never was going to be ready for. It didn't work. It worked for all the wrong reasons. It just angered people. It angered me, and I guess that was supposed to be the point, but it dragged the lineage of the championship down significantly. I mean significantly. But again, my opinion. If you guys think that Jinder was a good WWE champion because you thought it was different, sure, it was different. To me, it wasn't different in a good way, and I hated it, and I pretty much hated SmackDown after that. I don't think SmackDown got very good grades from myself or the Durbinator at all. I don't think the pay-per-views that Jinder was involved in got very good grades either. Again, whether the guy was trying or not didn't matter. He just wasn't any good, and he, as far as a long-reigning WWE champion, he is the worst of all time. Sorry, he is. To me. You guys don't think so? That's totally fucking fine. You can leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Then 45, Ivan Koloff, 21 days as champion. He beat Bruno Sammartino. You could hear a pin drop in the arena. It was incredible. And then Ivan had to lose it to Pedro Morales. And Pedro Morales is a great champion. He will make an appearance later in this countdown as well. But yeah, Ivan Koloff is champion. And it was a big deal. And my God, the shock when he won. Good Lord. Then we go number 44, RVD, 22 days. Yeah, he won it in a big event, big main event of One Night Stand 2006. Defended it against Edge at Vengeance later that month and was busted very soon after. With Sabu and all that stuff in the car. And yeah, it was not good. It wasn't good. He was not a good WWE champion. He probably wouldn't have even held it that long. He might have held it till Saturday night's main event. He might have held it till SummerSlam. Who the fuck knows? The whole point is, I mean, he only held it for he only held it for just over 3 weeks. It just wasn't good. It was a great moment when he won it, and then the bloom was off the rose because nobody fucking cared. To me, I just didn't think it was that good after his initial win. Then we go to number 43, The Big Show, 2 reigns, 78 days. Yeah, I can't really tell you much memorable about his reigns except when he won the title Survivor Series 99. It being inserted in that match after Austin was, ran over by Rikishi for The Rock for the people. And then when he won it in 2002 against Brock and held it for like a month. Yeah, Big Show really didn't have that great of runs. He really fucking didn't. We then get number 42, Alberto Del Rio. 2 reigns, 84 days. His cash in on Punk. It was what it was. He dropped the title a month later. Won it back a few weeks later at Hell in a Cell. Dropped it at Survivor Series to Punk. Pretty much is a summary of Alberto Del Rio in the main event. And even when he won the world title, again, pretty much a summary of him in the main fucking event. Oh, but he did feud with Sheamus for about 5,000 years during 2012. Really, their feud went on forever and it wasn't any good. Number 41. Well, I already did that one. Number 41. 37 days for Batista over 2 reigns. Yeah, I think he won it in 2009 and then he won it in 2010. He was injured in 2009 and yeah, not good. Not good. He dropped it like a little bit later because of injury. And then he won it in 2010, held it for a little bit. He was a better world champion than he was a WWE champion. It's not that he didn't try, but he was also on his way out of the company in 2010. Number 40, Jeff Hardy, 42 days. Look, I know that Jeff tried. Jeff Hardy tried. He was still battling his demons. He got over them. That's great. I'm trying to be kinder, but I hated it. I hated the fact that after he won it, it was clearly obvious that he still just was not in the right place. WWE put it on him because of his popularity, which is fine. Nothing wrong with going with a popular person, but it just wasn't great after he was champion. After he was champion, after he won it and after he had the celebration, he was booked like shit. And then he lost it at the following month's pay-per-view, Royal Rumble. Yeah, not very good. It was great when he won it, but it fizzled out really quick. Number 39, Bray Wyatt, 49 days. Bray Wyatt, who should have been saved here, got ruined with all the maggots and all the stuff and the spoopy imagery on the mats at WrestleMania 33. He should have held the championship for 3-4 months, and he held it for like a month and a half. It was fucking atrocious. Bray deserved better. He really deserved better. He deserves better than he's getting now. Let me just say that much. But yeah, Bray, I wish Bray had been used better. Especially as champion. I was excited to see him as champion. And then just the problem is they booked it like shit after that. The build-up actually to the match at Mania 33 wasn't that bad. The burning of the shed and other stuff and everything. But then it was just all the maggots. And again, the spoopy imagery just was not very good. We then get number 38. Iron Sheik, 28 days. Now 28 days later, he beat Bob Backlund. Arnold Skolin threw in the towel. Sheik was just the bridge to Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan beat him in a pretty iconic match, even though the match wasn't all that good. Hogan jumping Sheik from behind, because Hogan is a babyface, but actually it made sense because Sheik was a hated heel. What it was, and he then go to the AWA and turns back on WWE to take $100,000 from Vern Gagne, because Vern was upset that Vern ran off a whole bunch of talent because Vern was a bad businessman, at least at that point. But he didn't put the title on Hogan. I'm no fan of Hogan, but Vern should have done that. So, yeah, there we go with number 38. And then we go to number 37, Buddy Rogers, 36 days. He was the inaugural WWE champion. That's why he's here. He didn't hold it for long, though, before Bruno beat him. I know it seems like it's a disservice to Buddy Rogers to put him this low, but let's be honest. He was great as the initial champion. That's why he's ranked where he is. Had he held it for 3 months, 6 months, like in the start of the company and everything, had he been champion for that long, sure, okay, it would have been great. Holding it for just over a month before Bruno beat him, why the fuck would it matter? He was great as the initial champion, but he didn't hold it long enough to really be anything other than a historical first ever champion. He didn't really do anything memorable after that. And health issues and whatever, hit him, but still. We then get to number 36, Chris Jericho, 98 days. Yeah, he was the undisputed champion. He beat Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. And then was Stephanie McMahon's bitch and the lapdog and the third string guy in a feud between Triple H and Stephanie while Chris Jericho was champion. Yeah, not very good. We then get Kofi Kingston, number 35, 30 plus days as of the recording here. Look, I love Kofi. I would have ranked Kofi so much. The reason I actually ranked Kofi here, despite the fact he's only held the title for just about a month, as of now, the reason I'm ranking him here, though, first ever black WWE champion. I mean, sure, okay, Rock, but you count that. The whole point is, because Rock's part Samoan, part black. But still, that was a big deal. But Kofi, such a great representation of just great talent and hard work. 11 fucking years working really hard, being a great mid-card champion, making everything work despite all the bad shit that he kept being given. His win was a big motherfucking deal. And I'm really happy that he got the chance to finally be champion. And I hope they give him a long run. He's probably going to lose it to Money in the Bank. I hope not, but oh well. Still, at least he didn't have to take steroids like Superstar Billy Graham suggested. Don't worry, I'm gonna mention Superstar Billy Graham. And you might be disappointed he's ranked higher than Kofi, but I got a reason for that. But number 34, Dean Ambrose, 84 days. Look, Dean's cash-in and the Shield 3-way at Battleground Dean's cash-in and Money in the Bank, and the Shield 3-way at Battleground was great. After that, it was shit. He had that feud with Dolph Ziggler that should have been good and wasn't, and then he lost to AJ Styles at Backlash? I think it was Backlash. AJ hit him in the nuts. And then AJ kept getting hit in the nuts in 2018 because AJ never learned to fucking wear a cup. Dean Ambrose should have had a much longer run, or a much better run. I like that AJ beat him, but they took all the steam out of Dean Ambrose by that point. Like a month into his run. It's really fucking sad. He deserved better, but still, he got to be WWE champion, so I got to rank him here. Number 33, Sergeant Slaughter, 64 days. 5 days away from 69. Nice. He beat Ultimate Warrior. He held the championship until Mania, dropped it to Hogan. He got great heat. He lost the toy deal with, G.I. Joe, to be a line of G.I. Joe action figures. But then by that point, he'd had it for like 6 years or something like that. So I'm sure he made some good money still. It was really bad that he had to lose that to be a short-term champion and get, I'm sure, some good money. I'm sure he got very good money. I'm sure he got paid very well by Vince. But still, he was great as a heel, but it just didn't last long. Nobody wanted to boo Slaughter. Even though he got people to boo him, they turned him babyface by, I want to say the end of 91. I think by Survivor Series 91, he was back being a babyface. Hell, he was a heel at SummerSlam 91, and then they made him a babyface by that point. He was being cheered at the Royal Rumble 92, despite being booed like crazy the year before. It was it was just fucking raw. I felt bad for Slaughter, even though he got great heat. Then we go number 32, Psycho Sid, 97 days, 2 reigns. Look, people may argue ranking Sid above Kofi is wrong, but Kofi's historical significance as the first black WWE champion is right now all that he has. And big moment, great, great way that they did it, and an incredible match with Daniel Bryan. But right now, if I was doing this at SummerSlam and he had held the title a bit longer, maybe I'd rank him a bit higher. Quite frankly, Kofi should be ranked about middle of the pack for the historical accuracy of it. But at the time I'm doing this video, that's why I'm ranking him here. But Sid, I like that Sid won the title initially at Survivor Series 96, and then when he lost it to Shawn at Royal Rumble 97, but then he won the title again, and it wasn't all that good, and yeah. His win was great at Survivor Series 96, but that was about it. That was about the best that Sid did. And then we get to 31, Mankind, 47 days, 3 reigns. Yes, he did put butts in seats when he won the title on a taped Raw that beat a live Nitro, because somebody told Tony Schiavone, and I got nothing against Tony Schiavone, but somebody told Tony Schiavone, make it sound disgusting that you're disgusted with Mick Foley being, champion. I'll put some butts in seats. I'll put butts in the seats. And it did. So it backfired on WCW. Like everything else was backfiring on WCW at that point. They should have smashed Raw. They didn't, and they never won a rating again. I don't think they won any single rating between Raw and Nitro, except for the one after. I think the last time was after Halloween Havoc 98, because they fucked up and had to show the entire Goldberg DDP match for free on Nitro because they screwed up the pay-per-view feed. Good job. You put Hogan and Warrior there, and they went about 80 minutes on the show. But still, Mankind, yeah, he was only champion 3 times and didn't hold it that long, but his title reigns did mean quite a bit. Number 30, Ric Flair, 118 days, 2 reigns. Why am I ranking Flair here and why am I not ranking him higher? His second run didn't really mean all that much. He beat Savage soon after SummerSlam 92, held it for a month and a half, dropped it to Brett. His first run, however, was fucking incredible, even though it was only a couple months, because he won the Royal Rumble entering number 3 and became champion, and then faced Savage in the best match at WrestleMania 8. Much better than anything else on the goddamn card. Should have been the main event, but no, Hogan had to have his ego stroked by Vince. Have fun on seeing that, and that's why he was in the main event. But Flair, that Royal Rumble win alone dictates he has to be ranked here. I am ranking Sheamus, however, 1 slot higher, because Sheamus did have some big moments as champion. He beat Cena at TLC 09, bit of a botch finish, but still did lose it 2 months later, did have another 2010 reign, and did have a reign in 2015. Sheamus did have a better world title run, but part of the reason I'm doing that is they tried at least a few different times with Sheamus, and he was over more in his second time than he was in his first time, because people were shocked that he became champion, but again, he only held it for a couple months. Yes, Flair's first run was more historic, or his first win, but Sheamus, 183 days, in that era, holding it for 60 days, I think it was like 60 days, 90 days or something like that, 90-something days, and then, another 30 days still. Yeah, Sheamus wasn't a great champion, but he did try, and they tried a few times with him, and he did what he could. We then go to number 28, JBL. JBL, 280 days. Longest reigning champion in SmackDown history until AJ Styles came along. I will say this, JBL's title reign was better than Jinder's, because JBL at least had proven himself as a decent enough worker. Sure, he went from tag team, tough guy, to champion almost overnight, but at least you sort of could buy into a little bit of it, and he worked with some good people. Jinder's reign was just rotten, once again, my opinion. But he did work with Eddie Guerrero. Some great matches. The Judgment Day 2004 match not being one of them, because Eddie's blade job, sweet Jesus. Ouch. But, they had a great cage match in July of 2004. He had a decent feud with The Undertaker, decent feud with Booker T. Great match in a 4-way at Armageddon against Booker, Eddie, and Undertaker. Pretty good match at Royal Rumble 05. And I listed this stuff. You can check out my Which Was Worse series, because I actually compared JBL and Jinder's reigns. But he wasn't a great champion, but I will rank him far, far above Jinder, because I can take JBL's reign because it released some good matches there. Jinder didn't have any positives as far as matches, as far as his title reign went. Number 27. Roman Reigns, 118 days, 3 reigns. He was champion very briefly at Survivor Series 2015, lost it, then won it at TLC 2015, soon after Sheamus had cashed in and then lost it the next night. Or no, wait. No, he actually lost at TLC and then won it on Raw the next night. Lost it at the Royal Rumble, beat Triple H at Mania 32 in a match that nobody asked for, and then unfortunately got suspended for violating the wellness policy. However, he did. And yes, he was Universal Champion and will be WWE Champion again. I'm ranking Roman here because at least a couple of his wins were historic, but none of it was great. Let's be honest, none of it was all that great. We then get number 26, Superstar Billy Graham, 296 days. Well, I loathe the person that Superstar Billy Graham is and the fact he never deserved a second chance with that new liver because all he's done is be bitter as fuck. Looking at his career, he got over as a heel. He really did. Now, he couldn't work for shit. He was roids and a promo. That's all he was. But he got over with, how much heat he could get. He had a great feud with Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, he lost it to Bob Backlund. You could argue he maybe should have been turned babyface or something and gotten more of a run out of it. And maybe held it for longer. But then that would have cut into Backlund's run a little bit. But still, yeah, Superstar Billy Graham, piece of shit person. But I gotta put him up here on this list. I really have to. He did have some, classic moments, even if he couldn't really work at all. He is a piece of shit person, but he did have quite a run with the title. We then get to number 25, The Miz, 160 days as champion. I will argue that Miz's WWE title reign was a hell of a lot better than Jinder's. I will argue that Miz's title reign was a hell of a lot better than some of the ones that we've had since Miz became champion in 2010. It was, sure, okay, you could argue that it was hot-shotted really quick. He cashed in Money in the Bank, and maybe nobody bought it. And people want to see Miz as champion now, but he did what he could. He did the best he could. Had some good matches, even with all the bullshit that he got. He did work hard. Him and Alex Riley were a really good team. I thought that Miz did the best he could with it. I enjoyed Miz's run as champion. Even though he was made to be, third string in a match, to hype up the whole Rock Cena feud that wasn't going to be taking place or culminating until a year later at WrestleMania 28. For the one only time, once in a lifetime, that turned into twice in a lifetime. Fucking bullshit. Then we get to Daniel Bryan. 210 days over 4 reigns. Yeah, he won at SummerSlam and then lost it on the cash-in. Then he won at Night of Champions and then it was turned over. And then he won it at WrestleMania 30 and then lost it soon after because he had to relinquish it. His most recent run is why he's up here this high. Because originally, if he had not had such an incredible run the fourth time, he probably would have been ranked a whole lot lower than this. But I have to rank him this high. He did everything he could with that motherfucking title and really, really, really worked hard. He really fucking did. I really hope he's okay. I really hope that he comes back very, very soon. But still, Daniel Bryan's got to be ranked this high. Now we go to number 23. Eddie Guerrero, 133 days, less than Jinder, less than others. Eddie Guerrero should have been champion longer. I wish he would have been. Apparently he had some confidence issues being champion. He was worried that he wouldn't be a draw. Maybe he wanted the title off of him because he felt he didn't deserve it. He did deserve it. I wish he would have gotten a second run with the title, or it would have been with the world title. But unfortunately, he died soon before that could happen. That death still hits me. But Eddie Guerrero was an incredible WWE champion. Even if it didn't last as long as it should have, he still really was goddamn good. I love Eddie. I miss Eddie. I wish he was still here. We then get to number 22, Ultimate Warrior, 293 days. Speaking of people I don't miss, though, I miss Eddie. I don't miss Warrior. Sorry. Warrior's a piece of shit. And was not granted, he didn't need to really be a good wrestler, but he wasn't very good as champion. I really didn't understand why Warrior was seen as such a great draw. Oh, he was such a great draw. He was all this. He was this. He was that. He was everything possible that you could see as champion. I just don't fucking understand why he was seen as this. But, oh, wait, folks, before I go, I have a guest. Because somebody had to come in, so the producer is going to chime in about Warrior. Now, what did you think of Ultimate Warrior? He didn't think Ultimate Warrior was very good. He did not think Ultimate Warrior was very good. Ultimate Warrior was a good champion. Okay. Ultimate Warrior was a good champion at times. He did the best he could. But the fact is, the guy's still a piece of shit. I'm still going to rank him lower because he is a piece of shit. You can argue that maybe I shouldn't do that I should show a little less bias. But I'm sorry. I just cannot help the fact that he just wasn't... Yeah. He wasn't the draw that Vince needed him to be. He was not Hogan. Now, he tried. He tried his best. But he just wasn't very good. And then we get to Diesel at number 21. Diesel was champion for just under a year. 7 days under a year. Lowest drawing WWE champion of all time, at least of the modern age. Look, they hotshot Diesel too quick. If they had built him up a little bit better, it would have gone a whole lot better. He was the Roman Reigns of that time. And I'm not saying work-wise or whatever, but the fans just rejected him. Yes, they popped for Diesel winning, and that was it. And then it was all downhill from there, especially after WrestleMania 11. It just wasn't very goddamn good. Diesel tried, but he just wasn't very good. And that feud with Mabel. Oh boy, a feud with Mabel. That's exactly what you motherfucking need. You need a feud with Mabel. Fuck. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave that off. So I'll do the top 20 here in a little bit, or at some point. But anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. The producer's over there eating because he must be fed and sustained like the king he is. I will see you soon.